The silent march they set course for Earth, but something was already watching. The Zarnak's fleet moved in perfect lines through the black space, hundreds of warships, long and sharp like blades, floated with silent power inside each ship. Soldiers stood ready, weapons were charged, orders were clear: reach Earth, conquer it. Show no mercy. Commander Velk stood tall on the bridge of the lead ship. His red eyes stared at the map projected in the air. Earth was still days away. But they would not stop. The Council had given him the mission. Earth must fall. Status. Report, he said. Fleet in formation. All systems stable, replied one of his officers. They had already passed Jupiter. Now, Mars was the next mark. A dead, red planet. Unimportant. They didn't expect any trouble, but trouble had already started. On one of the scout ships, a technician noticed something strange. Commander. The probe from Ship 27 went dark. What do you mean dark? No. Signal. One moment it was active, the next, nothing, gone. Commander Velk frowned. Just a system error, send another. Another probe was launched toward Mars. It flew past the dusty surface, taking images and scanning signals. Everything seemed calm, silent, empty until it wasn't. The screen blinked, a shadow passed across the probe's camera, not a shape, not a ship. Just a flicker, like something massive was there, but invisible. Then the feed cut out. Another failure, the officer said, voice shaking. Commander Velk narrowed his eyes. This is nonsense, keep moving. In the halls of the main ship, soldiers joked and laughed. Earth, they believed, would be an easy win, a soft world. A young species, weak. But one alien didn't laugh. She was old, too old for war. Her name was Mira, and she had seen things most of them didn't believe in anymore. Legends. Warnings. She stood near the viewing glass, looking at Mars. There are ghosts in that orbit, she whispered. A young officer laughed behind her. Ghosts? Don't kill ships. She didn't reply, just stared. On the main deck, another report came in. Scout Ship 19 gone. Commander Velk froze. Explain. No signal, no debris, no distress call. It just vanished. Velk walked forward. Slowly, eyes locked on Mars now. There's nothing there, he said aloud. Just an old rock. But even he didn't believe it. Suddenly, static filled the room. All screens flashed white for 3 seconds, then black, all at once. Then a voice came through. Not a scream, not a call for help. Just 4 words, do not come closer. The voice was not alien, it was human, but they had never made contact. How could a human speak on their frequency? Everyone on the bridge stood silent. Velk clenched his fists. Who was that? Unknown, replied the officer. The signal came from Mars orbit, but we can't trace it. Prepare weapons, form tight formation. No one flies alone now. Yes, Commander. The fleet slowed down. Ships closed in around the flagship, covering its sides. Defensive shields went up. Even the cocky officers now looked nervous. Another hour passed. No new signals, no attacks. Just silence. Too much silence. Deep inside one of the smaller ships, a young pilot looked out the side window. She saw nothing, but she felt something. Why do I feel watched? She whispered. Suddenly, her ship's lights went off. Complete darkness. Then red emergency lights blinked on. Engines were gone. Life support failing. She pressed her comms. This is Ship 42. We're losing power. Something's in here. Static. Her voice vanished. Another screen on Velk's bridge went black. Ship 42 just disappeared. What is happening? Velk shouted. Show me Mars. Full scan. The screen zoomed in on Mars. And for the first time, they saw it. Shapes. Black ships. No lights. No heat. Perfectly still. Hidden in the shadows of Mars's orbit. Not one, not 2. Dozens. Big. Human made. But silent. They were waiting for us, Mira said quietly from behind. Everyone turned to her. I told you. Ghosts live around Mars, but they aren't spirits. They're humans, and they don't forgive. Velk stared at the screen, heart cold. He whispered, what have we walked into outside? The alien fleet kept flying forward, slowly, into a trap they could not see. And from behind Mars, Earth's ghost fleet waited, ready to strike. Asterisk. The lost signal. The fleet kept marching forward, but the silence became terrifying. Commander Velk stood stiff on the bridge, his claws digging into the command rail. The map in front of him blinked again. Another ship gone. No signal, no trace. No answer to the calls. Ship 56 is missing, an officer said quietly. Velk didn't answer. The others waited for his command. They expected strength, orders, rage. But even Velk, leader of this proud invasion, now looked unsure. Something was not right near Mars. They had arrived with over 300 warships. Now, 7 were gone, without a fight, without a warning, just gone. Pull all scouts back. No more forward movement until we understand what this is, Velk finally said. Yes, Commander. Far above them, Mars floated in silence. The red planet had always been a place of mystery in ancient records, dry, dead, cold. But now, they weren't so sure. Inside the communication room, Officers tried to re-establish links to the lost ships. Static, more static, no distress calls, not even emergency beacons, Commander, said the head engineer. I believe we're not alone in this space. Velk turned slowly. Explain. I found something. A small signal. It's buried beneath static, like it's hidden on purpose, but it's not natural, it's repeating. He turned up the volume. A faint, slow pulse played across the bridge. It sounded like a heartbeat, mechanical, constant. Boom, booms, boom. Then it changed. A voice whispered, still watching. Everyone froze. Where is that coming from? Velk snapped. It's not coming from Mars, the engineer replied. It's coming from behind us. Everyone turned behind, but that was empty. Space, the direction they came from. No planets, no stations, no ships, right? Velk ordered full sensor sweep. They scanned backward, forward, all around. At first, nothing, then the screen twitched, a shape. Just for a second, something dark moved through the blackness, just beyond sensor range. Then gone again. A cold chill filled the bridge. We're being hunted, Mira whispered. She had not moved from her spot near the glass. Velk snapped at her, speak clearly. She didn't flinch. This is not war, this is punishment. Earth doesn't send warnings, it waits. Watches, and then it removes threats. Quietly, Velk turned to his staff. I want every remaining ship in combat formation. No more silence. Load weapons, charge shields, activate emergency protocols. All officers shouted in response. Alarms echoed through the fleet. Lights turned red. Weapon cores hummed. Fighter drones launched. Shields rose, and then a new signal. Strong. Clear. A video. It appeared on every ship's screen at once, without invitation. Someone forced the feed into their network. A black room, cold walls, a single chair. A human sat there, wearing a strange uniform, dark gray. With no symbols, a scar ran down one side of his face. One eye was missing. Replaced by something artificial. He leaned forward. His voice was calm, deep. You are not welcome in our system. You were warned. This is your final moment to turn away or be erased. Then the feed cut. Silence again. Velk's hand shook slightly. The bridge felt colder. No one spoke for several seconds. Then a younger captain from one of the rear ships called in. Commander Velk, permission to speak? Granted, my ship. We vote to retreat. This is not a battlefield. This is a graves. Others began to agree. Murmurs spread. Velk shouted, we are not cowards. We are Zarnax. Earth is nothing but a blue rock. But his voice didn't carry the same power anymore. Even he was unsure now. Send a reply to the human message, Velk ordered. Tell them we are coming anyway. The message was sent. Minutes passed. Then came the reply, not in words, but in action, on the far left side of the fleet. 5 ships exploded. Instantly. No lights. No missiles. Just a burst, gone in a blink. A second later, another ship twisted apart, crushed from the outside by something invisible. Then nothing. The rest of the fleet stared in horror. No enemy ships had been seen. No weapons fired, but they were under attack. Velk realized one thing too late. This wasn't Earth's first invasion attempt. They had built something near Mars. Something perfect for destruction. Invisible, fast, precise. It didn't fight like a navy. It hunted like a ghost. Velk sat down slowly, his face pale, and across the stars, Earth remained silent. Echoes around Mars. The shadows around Mars weren't empty. They whispered back. Far from the lead fleet, a small alien science ship named Kreltwell floated near Mars's upper orbit. It was not a warship, just scanners, computers, and 3 quiet minds working inside. Scientist Rollo, the lead data officer, tapped buttons quickly. His fingers shook as he stared at the readings. This is not right, he said, beside him. His assistant, Varn, looked confused. What is it? Rollo pointed at the screen. I'm seeing ghost signals. They copy our ship's frequencies. But they're not coming from us. Then from where? Rollo's voice dropped to a whisper. From Mars. Outside their ship, everything looked normal. Mars spun slowly below. Red dust, frozen winds. Empty canyons, but in orbit, hidden just out of view. Something else floated, quiet and unseen. Rollo activated a deep scan. It wasn't allowed under standard orders, but rules didn't matter now. What the scan revealed changed everything. Thousands of tiny shapes barely visible were moving in perfect sync. They weren't ships, they were satellites, small but deadly. They moved in a net around Mars. Each one had no power signature, no heat, no light. Like ghosts. And then Rollo saw something else, a shape enormous, darker than space itself. It was parked directly above the northern pole. Is that a ship? Varn gasped. No, Rollo whispered. That's a station, a fortress. And we never saw it until now. He enhanced the image. Letters appeared on the structure's side, burned into metal. TAS Phantom Wardenty didn't know what it meant. But it felt like a warning. Suddenly, their ship's lights flickered. What was that? Varn asked. Spinning in his seat, "We're being scanned," Rollo said. "By who? I don't know." Then a sound came through their speakers, not a message, not a voice, a single tone, low, mechanical, and rising in pitch. Beep. "It's locking on us," Rollo said. "Turn off everything." Now, they powered down engines, shut off lights, killed all comms. The ship went cold and quiet. They hoped just maybe the signal would pass, but it didn't. The tone ended. And something knocked on their hull. Just once. Clang. No one moved. "There's no air out there," Varn said. "Nothing should knock." Rollo grabbed a scanner. It showed no life forms, no movement. Just the same signal bouncing around their ship like an echo. And then their screen blinked once more, a live video feed. Open. This time, no human, no face. Just a screen with 3 words written in red: "We see you," and below it, "Do not interfere." The feed cut out. Silence returned. And then, as suddenly as it came, the signal vanished. Their power returned, their ship lights blinked to life, the stars returned to view. Varn was still frozen in place. Rollo finally spoke. "We have to tell the fleet." They turned back toward the main group. Engines low, signals off, trying not to be noticed. But they didn't know they were already marked. Back at the main fleet, panic was growing. More ships had gone silent. Some turned away. Running without orders, the command network was breaking. On Velk's bridge, one officer shouted, "We lost contact with the science vessel Krell 12. Velk snarled. "We're surrounded by fear, not enemies. Mars is playing tricks." But Mira stood again. Her voice was calm. "No, the Earth is not playing. It is warning." Velk turned toward her. "You act like you know them." She nodded slowly. "Because I met a human once a long time ago. He told me something I never understood until now." "What did he say?" "He said, when you come to Earth's door, you better be ready for what opens it." Just then, the fleet's central comms flashed. Rallo's face appeared on every screen. His voice was rushed. Shaking, "Commander, pull back. It's a trap. Mars isn't empty, it's a fortress. They're in the shadows. They can hear us, see us, target us without being seen. I saw it. A station above Mars. Something they call." The screen cut. No explosion. No scream. Just silence. "They were gone." One more ship. Erased. VLK finally realized, this is not a battle. He turned toward Mars on the main screen. "This is execution, and somewhere beyond the planet's curve." The Phantom Warden listened quietly and waited. The warning she had met a human once, and he had warned her long ago. The command bridge was now filled with a silence more dangerous than war. No one spoke, no one blinked. The message from the lost science ship echoed in everyone's mind. "It's a fortress, they can hear us. They see everything." Commander Velk stared at Mars on the large central screen. His voice dropped low. "They were supposed to be primitive. They're not," Mira said behind him. He turned slowly. Mira looked calm, but her eyes were distant, like she was remembering something from long ago. "You speak as if you know Earth," Velk said. "Why?" Mira looked up. "I was young, long before this war. I was part of a peace mission. We visited many systems. One of them was Sol, the system Earth belongs to." "You made contact with humans?" She nodded. "No, not officially. We stayed hidden in their orbit. We studied from far away, but something found us, something a human." Velk walked closer. "You were caught." "No, we were warned." Mira stepped forward and touched a control panel. A small glowing cube appeared in her palm, a memory recording. She placed it on the console. It blinked once, then showed a short video. A human face appeared, male, quiet eyes, not in uniform. Just standing in a dark room, staring at the camera. The human spoke. "You don't know us, but we know you. This is your only warning. Leave the system. Do not return. We are not what you think." The video ended. Mira said, "He never told us his name. He didn't attack. He didn't threaten. But when we returned to our ship, 2 of our engines had been disabled without any sign of entry or damage." Velk growled. "Why didn't the council hear of this?" "They did, but they buried it. They called it fear sickness." Said, "I imagined it. They wanted Earth for its resources, not for peace." Velk clenched his jaw. Another officer stood up. "Commander, the fleet is weakening. Captains are calling for retreat. Some ships have already started pulling back." Velk snapped. "If we run, they'll hunt us one by one." Suddenly, the comms lit up. Another message. No image, just a voicey human. "Calm, cold. You were told, you were shown, but you crossed Mars. Now, you won't return the same." The screen showed live footage from the outer rim of the fleet. One of the retreating ships, Ship 91, was being followed, not chased, followed. A shadow moved behind it, long, sharp, silent. Then the ship simply folded inward. No fire. No light, just a twist. And then, it was gone. Vanished. "What is that?" the weapons officer screamed. The sensors blinked wildly. They couldn't detect what hit it. Then one short line appeared on the screen. TASWRAITH9, cloaked kill confirmed Bilk. stared at it. TAS. He whispered, Terran assault ship. Mira nodded slowly. There's a whole Terran fleet, and it never shows itself unless it chooses to. They built it around Mars, they call it the Ghost Net. The Council thought Earth wasn't ready for war. But Earth was never sleeping, Earth was watching. Velk turned away from the screen. His mind ran wild. They had walked into a cage, not a battle, a trap. We need to speak to Earth, he said, directly, if there's anyone left to listen. But before he could act, another voice came through. It was different this time, a woman's voice, calm, powerful. This is Central Command, Mars Gate Defense. You're standing in restricted space. Turn around. This is your final alert. You will not receive another. Velk stepped toward the microphone. He pressed the button, trying to sound confident. This is Commander Velk of the Zarnax fleet. We came to make contact with Earth. Our mission is peaceful. The voice returned instantly. Your scouts scanned our orbit. Your ships entered our shadows. Your lies carry no weight here. A pause. Then, you wanted to see Earth's defenses. Now, you will. Suddenly, Mars changed, all over the red planet's orbit. Dark outlines appeared coming out of cloak. Dozens of massive structures lit up, orbital weapons, long spears of metal and light, slowly turning toward the alien fleet. And from behind Mars, the Warden station moved. For the first time, it revealed its full size. It was not a station. It was a war machine, miles long, built into the rock, with hundreds of turrets, missile bays, and something far worse at its center. Velk's eyes widened. We never had a chance, he whispered. And from Earth no response came. Because Earth didn't need to speak. It only needed to show. The first attack, it started with silence, it ended with fire. The alien fleet had stopped moving. For the first time since leaving their homeworld, the Great Zarnax Armada floated still, trapped in fear near the orbit of Mars. Around them, Earth's defense grid now revealed itself, fully massive weapons locked in silent orbit, hidden satellites shining like dark stars, and at the heart of it all, the Warden. Now awake. Commander Velk stood frozen at the center of the bridge. His throat was dry. His claws tapped the metal console without rhythm. How many weapons do they have? He asked softly. The sensor officer replied with a trembling voice, We can't count. They're everywhere. Mira spoke again. Her voice had changed. No longer calm, just sorrowful. They waited until we crossed the line. Now they strike. Velk barked. Raise all shields. Power up full defense network. Prepare every ship now. Across the fleet, alarms screamed. Lights turned red. Fighters launched. Drones formed clouds around larger ships. Defensive barriers pulsed to life. The Zarnax Armada, though terrified, was ready to fight, or so they thought. Then came the silence. All comms went dark. Every ship, every screen, every channel black. Then one sound returned. A heartbeat. Boomed, booming, not biological. Artificial's cold. And then, without warning, it began. From the far side of Mars, space tore open. Not with fire, not with explosions, but with motion. Something moved so fast that I couldn't track it. A dark blur, racing through space like a shadow in the wind. WRAITH-9, the Terran hunter ship. It cut through the first Zarnax vessel without firing a shot. The alien ship, massive, heavily armored, shivered, then split apart in perfect lines. No explosion, just collapse, as if something sliced through it from nose to engine core. Then came another. WRAITH-11. And another. WRAITH-13. Each ghost ship moved without light, without sound, and each kill was instant. Inside the alien fleet, panic erupted. We're being cut apart. Where are they? I can't target anything. Our shields are useless. They're passing through us. Commander Velk shouted into the dark. Fire at will. Fire at everything. Laser bolts shot out wildly in every direction. Hundreds of bright beams flashed across space, but they hit nothing. The Terran ghost fleet did not fly in straight lines. They danced. They twisted. They vanished and reappeared. And every second, another Zarnax ship was destroyed, back on Velk's command bridge. The screen showed pure chaos. Every second, another blinking red dot, another death. One officer yelled, over 47 ships gone in just 2 minutes. Velk's voice cracked. How can this be? Our fleet is stronger, larger, Mira answered coldly. But not smarter. You came expecting a war. Earth built something else, not weapons, predators. Suddenly, something struck Velk's flagship. The lights dimmed, the floor shook. Sparks flew from a ceiling vent. Outside, a black spear was buried deep into the ship's armor. A rail projectile the size of a starfighter launched from the Warden itself. It hadn't aimed for destruction. It was a message. On the surface of the weapon, glowing in red letters, was one line, run. Velk staggered back. He stared at the screen, and then he saw them, humans, dozens of them. Inside the Warden station, standing calmly in front of their controls. Some wore helmets. Some didn't. None looked afraid. One of them turned toward the Camera, he raised a single hand and lowered it across space. The warden opened fire this time. There was no silence. The sky turned white. Dozens of railguns fired simultaneously. Smart missiles launched from underground silos on Mars. Plasma spears twisted through space like red lightning. Whole wings of the Zarnax fleet vaporized in moments. Explosions filled the void. Fire. Screams, steel torn like paper, and above it, all Earth's war machines said nothing. Only Mira whispered, "They've learned from every war. Every species, every betrayal. They don't strike first, but when they do, they erase." Commander Velk stared at the wreckage around him. His fleet, once proud and unbeatable, was now a burning field of debris, and Earth hadn't even left Mars. A human message Earth finally spoke, and every surviving ship fell silent. The battlefield near Mars burned. What was once the mighty Zarnax armada had become floating ruins. Ships broken into pieces, fires still glowing, bodies drifting in the dark. Only a small portion of the fleet remained battered, confused, barely holding position. Commander Velk stood quietly in the dim light of his damaged bridge. Blood ran down the side of his head. His uniform was torn, but his eyes were sharp. "How many are left?" he asked. A trembling officer replied, "Just 28 ships, Commander. From the original 300, Velk nodded slowly. "And how many enemy ships did we see?" The room was quiet. Mira, standing near a side console, answered for them. "None. You never saw them. You only saw the results." Velk looked at her. "Then why am I still alive?" Mira didn't answer. Suddenly, the screens across the bridge flickered. No alarms. No noise. Just a blank white screen with a single dot in the middle. The dot expanded slowly, then formed a symbol, a single human eye. Then came the voice. Female, calm, precise, no emotion. "To the surviving vessels of the Zarnax fleet. You are now within Earth's control zone." The bridge crew froze. "You were warned before Mars. You were warned at Mars." You continued. "You struck first by entering restricted space. Your actions have been recorded." Velk stepped forward. "Who is this? Show yourself." The voice ignored him. "Earth does not seek conquest. Earth does not invade. Earth waits, watches, learns. But when the line is crossed, Earth responds." The screen changed again. Now it showed a map of the galaxy. Red lines circled multiple systems. Dozens, then more lines appeared, forming a shield around the Sol system. "This is the new boundary. Earth's system is closed. No ships may pass Mars orbit without authorization. This message will repeat until obeyed." Velk shouted. "We came for contact, not war, this time." The voice responded. "Lies have cost your fleet. If your mission had been peaceful, your first ship would not have carried fusion lances." The crew on Velk's ship turned toward each other, stunned. They had prepared weapons in advance, hoping to strike first near Earth. Earth had known. Watched. Waited. Mira whispered. "They read your fleet before you even reached Jupiter." The screen now changed again. This time a face appeared, a human man, no armor, just a black jacket with no symbol. He looked tired but calm. He stared directly into the camera and he spoke. "We will not send ships after you. We will not chase your survivors. Because you are already broken." He leaned slightly closer. "Take what remains of your fleet and go. Tell the others what happened. Not so they fear Earth, but so they respect its silence." Velk tried to speak again, but the screen blinked off before he could say anything. Nothing remained but darkness. No more voice. No sound. Just the slow hum of damaged engines. Later that cycle. In the private quarters of the ship, Velk sat alone. Mira entered quietly. "You lived," she said. "For now," he replied. She stepped forward. "You have two choices. Tell the truth, or lie to the council." Velk looked up. "If I tell them the truth, they'll silence me, or send another fleet." Mira nodded. "Then lie. But choose the lie that protects your people." Velk looked out the window. Mars hovered far behind them, now calm, red, and distant. Ships began to move again, slowly, carefully, turning back. There would be no victory song, only survivors. And one final truth burned into Velk's mind. Earth didn't scream. Earth didn't beg. It waited, and then it whispered, and the galaxy heard it loud. The hidden fortress Mars was never just a planet. It was Earth's shield, its sword and its secret. Long after the Zarnax fleet turned away, broken, bleeding, silent, Mars returned to what it had always been. Cold. Still. Unmoving. But beneath its red surface, far below the ancient dust and canyons, something enormous breathed softly. Metal lungs, artificial veins, and a core powered by a fusion heart. The Phantom Warden. It was not a base. Not a ship. It was a living fortress designed, constructed, and buried by humans over 200 years ago. And now, it was awake. Deep within its halls, a single figure walked. Human. Tall, broad shoulders, dark uniform without any rank. She walked down a wide tunnel lit by blue lights, her boots echoing off the walls. The head Giant screens showed orbital footage, broken alien ships drifting beyond Mars, escape trails heading back to deep space, and Earth's war satellites resetting into silent mode. A voice spoke from the ceiling, all targets cleared, no further threats detected. The woman didn't reply at first. She stopped in front of a sealed door, then she said, "Open the archive." The door slid open with a hiss. Inside was a long hall lined with digital panels, flickering screens, and hard data cores. This was the Martian Defense Archive. Every alien signal, every war, every attempt to touch Earth without permission. Recorded, analyzed, prepared against. She tapped a console. A hologram appeared rotating slowly. The galaxy, small red dots marked all past alien incursions. Then yellow ones showed known fleets. Finally, blue marks lit up, tearing ghost installations across multiple systems. Not just Mars. Not just Earth, but places no one ever knew Earth had reached. Some were decades old, some older. She sighed. Did they ever really think Earth was blind? She whispered. Back on Earth, in a deep mountain bunker, another figure watched the same footage. An older man. One eye was cybernetic, the same human who had appeared on the Zarnax screens. He turned to the officer next to him. Report, he said. All systems green. Mars Fortress fully operational. The warden completed its task. And the survivors? They're leaving our space. Broadcasting confusion, no full understanding of what hit them. The man smiled faintly. Good. He turned to a large screen showing Project Red Veil, the codename for the Mars Shield. We didn't build Mars defenses to start wars, he said. We built them to end them before they start. The officer nodded. Should we activate Titan Station 2? The man shook his head. No, let them fear Mars first. If they keep pushing, we'll show them what's under Saturn. The room went quiet. The galaxy thought Earth was soft, emotional, unready, but they didn't know. Earth had watched, for centuries. When the galaxy warred, Earth listened. When others fell, Earth learned. And when the stars turned cold, Earth remembered. Back near Mars, in orbit, the remains of the alien fleet drifted in silence, and deep beneath the Martian surface, the warden's core cooled down again. Its voice echoed once more into its chamber. Cycle complete. Defensive status, passive mode engaged. Its lights dimmed, but before darkness returned, one small screen blinked. A new signal. Faint. Far away. Unfamiliar pattern. Unknown language. Another species. Another fleet. Watching Earth now. The warden didn't react yet. It waited. As it always did, because Earth never fires first. But when it does, no enemy makes it past Mars. The great escape they thought they were escaping. Earth had already closed the door. The shattered remains of the Zarnax fleet drifted beyond Mars. Only 20 ships survived, scarred, shaking, full of wounded. Smoke leaked from broken vents. Engines coughed, communication lines buzzed with static. Inside the lead survivor ship, Commander Velk stood near the main screen. His uniform was torn, blood dried around his left eye. His fleet, his pride, now scattered debris. Set course for deep space, he ordered. No stops, no signals, full silence. His officers obeyed quickly. No one spoke of revenge anymore now. They only wanted to survive. But Mira, standing at the edge of the bridge, stared at the black void ahead. Don't you understand? She said softly. You're not running away, you're following their path. Velk turned. We're escaping. No, Mira whispered. They let you think that. As the ships pulled away from Mars, lights on Earth's defense grid went dark again. The Phantom Warden powered down, hiding beneath the dust once more. But it wasn't the end. Earth's plan was never just about Mars. In deep space, nearly halfway between Mars and Jupiter, the fleeing Zarnax ships passed a silent asteroid field. Unremarkable, cold, still, but the asteroids weren't natural. They were part of Earth's minefield. Hidden defense satellites shaped like space rocks, coded to detect movement from specific ship designs. As Ship 17 passed too close, one asteroid blinked. Then activated. Within seconds, it launched 6 guided charges. No lights. No warning. Just impact. Ship 17 exploded. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just erased. Velk's ship picked up the signal too late. One officer screamed, "Trap, it's a trap." Earth mined the corridor, change course now, but turning wasn't enough. As ships scattered, more false asteroids came alive. Some fired tracking drones, others released magnetic nets. One ship was pulled apart by gravity bombs without even reaching full speed. In minutes, 6 more ships were gone. Velk grabbed the comms. Full blackout. Shut all engines. Go dark now. The ships dimmed. Heat dropped. Engines powered down. They floated in silence, pretending to be dead. Earth's minds didn't move. At last, stillness. On Velk's bridge, the silence returned. No one breathed. Then a quiet voice came through their private comms, not through their systems, but directly. Into the bridge. It was human. Female. Soft. And terrifyingly calm. You chose to run. We chose to let you. Velk looked around wildly. Where is that coming from? The voice continued. You're wondering why some ships exploded and some were allowed through. The answer is simple. Those who carried truths live. Those who would lie to their empires died. Velk's claws trembled. The crew looked at him. They all remembered some of the destroyed ships belonged to captains who had called Earth weak. In earlier transmissions. Earth had recorded it, Earth had judged it, and Earth had chosen. A new screen opened on Velk's console. One sentence appeared, take this message home. Another line followed, let them know Earth never left the stars. Earth simply waited. Velk stared at it. He pressed one button. The message copied itself into every surviving ship's system. It could not be deleted. It could not be changed. Mira whispered from behind him, now you carry their warning. Velk looked up, eyes heavy. This is an escape, he said. This is permission, one by one. The few remaining Zarnak ships passed beyond Jupiter the moment they crossed Sol's outer border. Their sensors blinked green. Earth's network had released them. No more shadow signals. No minds. No whispers. Just the cold emptiness of space. And silence, the kind of silence that follows total dominance. Far away, on Earth's surface, in a quiet facility beneath frozen mountains, a human technician watched the blinking dots disappear from the outer grid. They're gone, he said. The commander behind him, same man. With the cybernetic eye nodded once. He spoke only 2 words, send the message. The message to the stars. The galaxy had ignored Earth's silence. Now, it would never forget it. The Zarnak survivors reached the edge of their own territory weeks later. Their ships limped into orbit, smoking and cracked, with pieces of Mars's traps still clinging to their hulls. At first, their people celebrated. Survivors were rare in war. But the celebration faded the moment they saw their faces. Commander Velk did not look like a war hero. He looked haunted. His voice was different, slow, heavy. I need to speak to the High Council, he said. When he entered the council chamber, the Zarnak's leaders were waiting, tall, proud, untouched by war. They expected a report about victory, or at least resistance. Instead, Velk stood silently. Then Mira stepped beside him, and she activated the message. Across the chamber, every screen came alive. A video began. First, a calm view of Mars, then flashes of ships. Zarnak ships destroyed. In silence, explosions with no warning, blades of light cutting through metal, the chaos, the running, the whispers. Then, at last, a human face appeared, the same man who had spoken before, calm, unsmiling. His message played once more. Earth is not at war with the galaxy, but we are ready for it. We ask for peace, we prepare for war, and we respond only when forced to. Then the final words, to those who seek to test Earth's silence, listen carefully. You will never reach past Mars. The video ended. The council chamber was quiet. One elder finally spoke. You're saying this planet defeated our fleet before it even arrived. Velk nodded. They didn't fight us, he said. They ended us. Another asked, and you brought this message willingly? No, Mira answered. We were told to carry it. We were allowed to live to warn you. One younger counselor scoffed. So Earth wants us to fear them? Velk looked him in the eyes. No, he said. Earth doesn't care if we fear them. They care if we cross the line again. Within hours, the message was forwarded to other empires. The video spread. Every species who had once mocked Earth watched. First in silence, then in dread. Some doubted it. Some denied it, but then came the proof. Long-range scans confirmed the Phantom Warden was real. So were the ghost ships. So were the orbital kill nets. And worst of all, no human had ever left their system during the attack. Earth had stayed silent, and still won. Back in the Terran command facility, the man with the cybernetic eye stared at a star map. The assistant beside him reported, 36 known empires received the message. 4 have gone quiet. 2 have called for emergency meetings. 1 sent us an apology. The man didn't react. Good, he said. The assistant hesitated. What should we do next, sir? The man leaned back in his chair. We do what we've always done, he said. We watch, we wait, we prepare. He looked up at a screen displaying Mars's orbit and whispered, let the stars keep guessing. Across the galaxy, messages were sent in secret between leaders. Do not approach Sol. Do not cross Mars. Do not wake the silence. Children on alien worlds were told new stories. Not about monsters. Not about wars. But about humans. And the place beyond Mars, where invaders go in, but never return.